interacted with the candidate, I have gotten the details on the candidate. My candidate, what is your area of expertise? Let's say welding, because welding is more common to us.
Where are you driving to?
I'm driving to Port Harcourt. So I have interacted with Elena, with the candidate. I have given him a portfolio. He has gathered the evidences and has brought back the portfolio to me. Okay? So the panels of the assessors, 3 of them were already set up by the center. And I am the first person to interact with the assessors and give them the details about the candidate. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. My colleagues, you are most welcome. What's your name, sir? Okay, Omanigu, you are welcome. Ma, you are welcome, ma.
I'm Gino.
Oh, Gino, you are welcome. Sir, Patrick, thank you so much. I believe you have gotten our letters for nominating you as an assessment team to assess some candidates we have in this center. Thank you so much and welcome. I am Khalid by name, and I happen to be the facilitator of the candidates that we are going to assess. Why we felt we need to do this meeting today is for the fact that being the facilitator of the candidate, I have interacted with him, and I need to give you some background and then hand over to you the portfolio so that you can be able to review it, then be scheduled for the assessment. I hope that is okay, sir. Okay. The candidate is actually into welding, and he is applying for level 4 because he is highly experienced. He has been practicing welding for the past 30 years. In fact, he has gone into even advanced welding, that is diving. But I actually felt that for now, we can assess him and certify him on welding level 4, which is actually a supervisory level. Maybe at later times we can look into other possibilities. From his resume and CV submitted in his folder, as I told you earlier on, he has practiced for 30 years now, and he has actually undertaken several projects. And a part of this project he has actually participated includes some local projects within his local government area, and some of them are even for the state projects within his state. And he has even gone far to participate in some projects from other states that are neighboring to his residential state. And he has equally undertaken different activities on personal level to be able to provide some components or repairs of equipment of some machineries for several times. He has brought a record of all these things, and you can see them in the portfolio I'm going to hand over to you. And there are some relevant pictures, and we even have some videos in the portfolio that recorded all these some of these similar activities he has undertaken. And within the portfolio also, you can see part of the evidences the candidate gathered include some witness statement coming from his supervisor, and there are some equally coming from some clients whom he had actually worked for, and they happen to be satisfied with his job, so they wrote some attestation on his behalf, and they are part of what we have in the portfolio. Part of what is in the portfolio is equally self-assessment, that is more or less like personal statement of the candidate. He has written about the processes, the procedures he used to adopt in undertaking the welding projects. In most of the projects he has provided within the portfolio. And so this is the summary of what is contained in the portfolio, ladies and gentlemen. I am now going to hand you over the portfolio. You can look at it, you can decide and see what methodology you want to adopt in assessing the candidate. However, as a person who interacted with the candidate, I would want to give the following recommendations. Number one, I think you can use a panel of interview to assess the candidate, because I noticed that the candidate already has literacy level because he attended secondary school before going into the skill of welding. And I noticed that he can speak well, he can write well. In fact, all these samples of the tools you can see in the portfolio, he wrote them himself. I only gave the guide, I gave him the guide on how to be able to write them down. So he can answer relevant questions in a panel of interview. So I would recommend that method. And secondly, I think to confirm some of the projects he has claimed, including some relevant pictures and the videos, you can equally decide to have practical demonstration for observation, maybe in his workplace. If he has any project on ground, we can be able to make up a day to go there and watch him while he actually do the project as an observation. That will equally make additional confirmation. And finally, my recommendation is we make a judgment from what we can see from the portfolio of evidence gathered here. I think with these three evidences, we can be able to make a decision on whether this candidate is eligible for certification or not. So that is what I would want to notify you now. And I believe as a facilitator, I have done what I need to do, unless if you have some questions you wanted to ask relating to the candidate, in line with this information I have given you. However, let me first hand you over the portfolio so that you can take it through if you have some questions now or you may need me later. This is one copy, sir, for you. Okay, and this copy for you, ma. And this is your copy of the portfolio. You are welcome. So please, do you have any question for me on the candidate?
Okay, you've actually done a thorough job from all the details that you've already put before us. I can see that you've really put extra time and extra effort to give us all this information. But however, I will go through the portfolio and have a unanimous agreement on how we'll go about the assessment. So we'll get back to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anything, ma'am?
Nothing really. Having said that you have gone through the portfolio, we would like to meet candidates.
Okay.
Yes, after assessing the portfolios.
Please, when you make your review, you can notify me whenever you see the candidate. I will invite you.
That's exactly what we're going to do. We have to go through the portfolio and advise the candidate. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as the facilitator, I have done my job now and I have handed over the portfolios to the team of the assessors. What remains now is the assessors are going to meet within themselves. They review the portfolio and then they look up to the standard. They see what are the relevant learning outcomes for welding level 4, and then they can now extract out what relevant questions they want to ask in relation to those learning outcomes to the candidate for the interview session, and then they will determine what practical activity will they be interested in towards the learner, or they may decide to do that after the panel of the interview have conducted their interview with the candidate. Are you there, clear? Yes. And then from the evidences gathered in the portfolio, they can now start forming part of their decisions whether the relevant evidences are very good enough in the portfolio, and then they now supplement that with the interview as well as the practical demonstration. So the assumption now is that we have left them and they are conducting their meetings and they are compiling their standardized questions that they want to ask the candidate. Are we there?
Yes.
Good.